Hey guys, so I'm gonna make this video about how to do pockets, uh, more like actually flats. So this is what we're gonna be doing. So as you see, there's gonna be 6 flats. Diameter for the material is gonna be 1.25 inches. So as you see, the flats are 1 inch and 130,000 minus 5. So let's round it up to 1 inch and 125 divided by 2, that's 562 and a half. And then you have a 2 inch from the edge, 3/4 it's the width. And over here it's symmetrical, so once you add everything, it's pretty much, then it goes to 7 inches and to 50. So these are symmetrical. It would be hard to do one side, then put it in the chalk and flip it and make sure everything is in a line. So the tricky way to do this is so when you have a chuck, I have this spider. So it's actually this thing that you just put it in, and it holds on magnets. So you only hold it by very little, so my holders do clear the chuck. And the trick is on this one is so because when you see over here, these are threaded, and so what I do is this is a left-hand thread. I actually use a tip from the gauge, and they have these centers. You can probably see it, but they have these centers, and that's how I support my piece. So let's get the sucker out. This is the spider, so it's just these plates. They're hooked up to these triple star, and you just shove it in, and it gives you clearance. If you guys want to see how that actually looks, it might be a two-hand operation, but give me a second. Okay. So that's how it looks. So you have these comes with these different plastics, different size for smaller inside. Then you have these different lengths and plates, and pretty much what you do is you go in between. So if you have a very small jaws, this might not work, and the plastic goes into the spindle and it locks in. And like I said, these plates are longer and shorter, and so I'm gonna thread this gauge into it, and I'm gonna install another piece. Okay, so my thread gauge is in. Close the chuck. Make sure it's actually pushed in all the way. Bring the tail stuck. A little bit. Well, it's fine. And let's rock and roll. So we'll get back to the pockets, and let's look at the program. So previously I've done, this is all turning, so facing, turning. This is going to be a center drill, another turning ID thread. This is a thread left one and right one. So the left one, I just do it from the back to the front, and the way you do the pockets, and like I said, so they're gonna look like, I'm gonna show you, give me a second. So these are done on a ZY mode. So you do need a Y for that. And each of them is, so we have 6 pockets, so 6 divided by 360. So you're gonna see a C position starting 0. This is first pocket. Second pocket is 60. Third pocket is 120, 180, 240, 300, and then, and so on. Okay. Now, this is gonna be your SRVA, so how much stock you're removing. So we are removing about 62,500 per side. These are going to be your finishes, and then transfers. Then what type of end mill you're going to use? I use a 1/2 inch. The approach, that's going to be automatically calculated. So you just press question mark every time you change a different size of tool. Remember, we question mark this because it's going to be a different approach. Then it's going to be your type, counterclockwise. We want to feed into the material, removing 65,000 per side, 200 on the width, and then your speeds and your feed. Okay, and this is pretty much describing what are we doing. So we're doing a square. We're starting 562,500, like we stated before. Our start on a Z, it's going to be 2 inches. And our start on the Y, how low we want to start, it's going to be minus 700. So before I had a 3/8 end mill and I was starting minus 0.5, but this one needs to go a little bit lower because to compensate for the end mill. And then it's how far we go on a Z. So we go from 2 inches to 2 inches 750, because like you see over here, it's 2 inches to 200 750. 750, because 750 is the width of the flat, and then on the Y. So pretty much what the machine telling you is it starts to go on Y from minus 700 to plus 1/2 inch up, and then these we don't worry about. And this is pretty much your first flat. So you can copy all these. Let's say if you need 4 of them, then you do, you divide it 360 by 4, and then, you do 4 of them and just copy them. And all you really change is the proficiency. And then the second set, it's 5 inches and 250 further. So now we're starting 7 to 50. So pretty much 8 inches, and this is how your flats are done. So this is showing you how the flats look, and see how it goes. So right now it's at 1/2 inch. Now it goes to minus 700 on the Y, and then it goes to 1/2 inch. You can go higher, but since it's not going to be cutting any material, this is plenty. So it's starting like I said, minus 700, and it's going to 1/2 inch. And since this is aluminum, you can cut it with no coolant. It doesn't matter. So yeah, that's how these look. And with these, like I said, you can do a single pocket. You can do pretty much anything you want, single, double, triple. You can do as far, as long as you want, as big as you want, as deep as you want. So all pocket is really you doing it. You're telling the machine to go from minus 700. Let's say starting 2 inches to 0.5 up. So it's taking a 1 inch and 200,000 swing up on the Y. Then now it starts to make turn from 2 inches to 2 inches and 750. So actually, let me tell you that. So it's starting right here. Let's say this is going to be minus 700 in 2 inches, right, on the Z. So now it's traveling up to that 0.500. Now it's traveling this way to that 2 inches and 750. Now it's going down to minus 700 again on the Y, and then it's going back to 2 inches. So that's how the pockets work. You can do hexes with those. You can do pretty much anything you want. It's pretty easy to program. The only guesswork that you have to do is figure it out. You have to figure out the Y. So like I said, how low it should start to start, let's say, so it doesn't jump into the material, and how high it's got to go up. So we're starting, I don't want to start inside of the material, but we can finish that once once the profile is done. Then it's fine that it doesn't go all the way up to, let's say, 0.700, because whatever is supposed to be cut is already cut. So hopefully this helps somebody. Thank you for watching.